Hello, today's lesson we are going to do factoring, but this is a common factoring. So when we are dealing with factoring, we are looking for the length and width for a box model. So for a box method, we could have 2 by 2 or 1 by 2, 1 by 3. And for common factoring, it will be either 1 by 2 or 1 by 3. And we want to find the length and the width. Then we call this is a common factoring. So before we do the common factoring, we want to review of the area model. So how can you multiply 6 with 452 without a calculator? So we could do an area model can help. By doing this, then we review of the area model. So one side is 6, another side we are going to split 452 into 3 parts. Okay, 450 and 2. By split the 452 into 3 parts, then we are able to do the multiplication without a calculator. So 6 times 400, you will have 2400. 6 times 50, you will have 300. 2 times 6, you have 12. Then the sum will give you the answer of multiply 6 with 452. So we add the 3 areas together. So we call this is area model. Then we can find the multiplications. So we are going to have 2712. So this is using the area model, we can do the multiplication without a calculator. And factoring, we know we are going to do backward. From area, we want to find the outside. That is called factoring. 6 and 452 are factors of 2712. So 6 and 452 are factors of 2712. That's the reason this we call factored form. And the factoring means we want to find the factored form. Okay, so from here we go backward, then that is a factoring. And now we are going to see this time we have this area given. So this area, if we write it as a number, it will be 1359. And we want to write it as 2 numbers times. This is factored form. So we have something one side given, so one side is 453. We want to find the other side to get this area. So which number times 400 give you 1200? We do the division, you have 3. Then we check 50 times 3 give you 150. 3 times 3 give you 9. So we know that 453 times 3 will give you this 1359. And these two are factors of 1359. And this form, we call it factor form. And from the number, then you write it as 2 factors times together. We call this factoring. Yesterday, what we have done is we have the 2 by 2 box. we have the trinomials. Then we find the length and width. That is a factoring, but it's for the find the bracket times bracket and 2 terms times 2 terms. And this time we are finding monomial times a binomial or trinomials. Okay, so it is connected, but it's a monomial, not a 2 terms times 2 terms. Today is 1 term times 2 terms or 3 terms. We call it polynomial, more than 1 term. So this is what we are going to do today, and we are going to see how are we able to write it as a 1 term times polynomials, more than 1 term. So what can we can do the same when we add variables. What was 8 multiplied by to give the result? So the area is 8x squared plus 4x plus 16, and one side is given. Ask you to find another side. So which number times with 2x squared will give you 8x squared? Do the division. 8 divided by 2 give you 4. Then double check. 4 times 2x squared give you 8x squared. Then we could write it as a factor form. It will be 4 times. We use bracket, no sign. It means times 2x squared plus x plus 4. Then we call this as a factored form. And from 3 terms to 1 term times 3 terms, we call that as a factoring. So now we are going to practice more. What was 8 multiplied by to give the result here? So anyone can tell me? So do the division. 10 divided by 2, we have 5. X cubed divided by x squared give you x. Then we could write it in this way. 10x cubed plus 15x squared plus 25x equals 5x bracket 2x squared plus 3x plus 5. So this is a factor form. You have this one is a factor of the original expression, and this is a factor of the original expression. These 2 factors times will give you the original expression. So, and this is a factored form, but it's not always you are lucky to have one side given. What happens if both sides are not given? So we are going to see. If both sides not given, then we need to find what a common factor from each term. So we want to find the common factor from each term. This means the number could go into each term. So for example, we have 4 and 6. Then which number will go into each? Check your factor sheet. You will see 4 is 1 times 4, 2 times 2. And 6 is 1 times 6, 2 times 3. How to find the greatest common factor? We look for the greatest common number from this column and this column. 1, 4, 2, 1, 6, 2, 3. So the common one will be 2. Then the greatest common factor for the 4 and the 6 will be 2. So this is how we find the greatest common factor. Use your factor sheet, just find the greatest number from the columns, okay? From the columns below the numbers. So for 2x and 3x, 2 and 3, you look for the factor, you will see under 2 you have only 1 times 2. 3 under 3 you have only 1 times 3. Then from 1 to 1, 3, the common one is 1. We don't count the 1 as a factor, so there is no common factors for 2 and 3. And for the variable, we have x and x. They are same, so the common factor will be x. So greatest common factor means we are looking for the common either number or variable from all the terms. So these x, they are same. And for the variable, there is a rule. If you have the variables are same, then the greatest common factor is lowest degree. That variable with lowest degree. X with the lowest degree from both terms. If 3 terms, then from all terms. That is your greatest common factor. Greatest common factor means each term could be divided by that factor, okay? So for the second one, x squared and x cubed, greatest common factor will be the lowest degree of the same variable. 2 and 3, lowest is 2, so you have x squared as the greatest common factor. Then we continue this one, 6 and -8. We are going to use a factors number sheet that you got. So 6 and 8, we are going to see these 2 columns and see what is the greatest common number. So 1, 6, 2, 3, 1, 8, 2, 4. The greatest one will be 2. So then we go back. For this one, we know the greatest common factor for numbers, it is 2. So from 6 and 8, the greatest common factor, 6 could be divided by 2, 8 could be divided by 2. This is greatest common factor for number part. Then we are going to see the variable part. So for A, both got A, the lowest degree is 1, so A is a common factor. And for the B, this one you have B, this one no B, so you must have both terms with B, then B could be a common factor. If one term you have letter B, another term you don't have letter B, then letter B is not a common factor. And same for C. The second term you have C, but the first term you don't have letter C, then letter C is not a greatest common factor. So from these 2, you have 2A only. For this example, we just practice on finding the greatest common factor because this is the width, this part. The greatest common factor will be the width that you are going to take out from the 1 by 2, 1 by 3 box. So that's the reason we are practicing on finding the greatest common factor. Then after we practicing this one, we are going to do the factoring. So this one, we are going to focus on number first. So greatest common factor for the number 12 and 15. Get your factor number sheet out, 15 and 12. So we are going to see 12 and 15. We are going to 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors. And 15, 4 factors, 1, 15, 3, 5. Compare these two, you will see the greatest common number is 3. So greatest common factor from 12 and 15 is 3. So this is how you find the greatest common factor. 12 could be divided by 3. 15 could be divided by 3. So 3 is a common factor, and also it is a greatest common factor. So we have the 3 here. And for the variable, we are going to look at the x squared. The x squared and x. The lowest degree from x squared and x will be x, because the degree of x is 1. So for this one, x is lowest degree is 1. And for the y to the exponent 1, y to the exponent 5, then the lowest one will be the y to the exponent 1. So, and for the z, the second term doesn't have a letter z, then z is not a common factor. So for the question D is 3xy. So this example, we are practicing on finding greatest common factor only. We are not doing the factoring yet. So the next question, we are going to do the factoring, okay? So to expand is times, and the final answer is always no like terms. Okay, so expand, then the final answer, no brackets, no like terms. And the backward of the expanding is factoring. You will have brackets. Okay, factoring, you have brackets. And expand, you don't have brackets. So the final answer, no brackets. No like terms, that is for expand, or we call it simplify. And for factoring is you have brackets times brackets. Each bracket is a factor of the original expression. To common factor, we look for the greatest term, both numbers and variables, that can be divided into each term of the expression. This is called the greatest common factor. It's just now we have practiced finding that each term could be divided by this one. Each term, it has these factors in. This is always the first step in any factoring question. So for this one, we are going to find the greatest common factor first from these two terms, 3x and 6. So check your factor number sheet. You will find out 6 is 2 times 3. So 3 is the greatest common factor from the numbers. And this term got x. Another term doesn't have x. So x is not a common factor. The common factor is 3 only. Then we are going to see, you could draw a box to help you. So 3x and 6. And we have the greatest common factor 3. We could put it at one side. Then for the other side, we are going to do the division. This is area of this box. And one side is 3. Another side, we need to have 3x divided by 3 give you x. So 3 times x give you 3x. This is do the division. 3x divided by 3 give you x. And second one, 6 divided by 3, we do the division again. 6 divided by 3 give you 2. Then we write it as a factor form. It will be length times width. So 3 times x plus 2. And this is we call factored. So this is 3 is a factor of 3x plus 6. X plus 2 is a factor of 3x plus 6. So this is a length times width. And 3x plus 6 is the area. And in future, you don't need to draw the box. You just give me, okay, common factor is 3. Then 3x divided by 3 give you x. 6 divided by 3 give you 2. Then it's done. Another way you do it is you don't draw the box, and I will show more steps. So another way, so this is one way you draw the box, then you have this one. Then the second method is you always need to find this greatest common factor first. It doesn't matter first method or second method. So we know the greatest common factor is 3. Then we put the 3 outside, and 3 times bracket 3x. 3 times 3 will give you 9. It's not equal to 3. You need to divide it by 3. Then 3 times 3 divided by 3 is still 3. Then plus 6. 3 times 6 is not 6. So we need to divide by 3. And 3 times 6 divided by 3 give you 6. So it's equivalent. But after that, we want to simplify is do the division. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 1x here. 6 divided by 3 give you 2. Then compare this one with the box method. They are same. Okay. So this is the first method. You draw the box, then you find the length and the width. You have the answer. Or you could just greatest common factor 3 times each term divided by 3. Then you simplify, do the division. Then you have the terms in the bracket. Then this is factored form. This we call common factor. So you have one side is 1, another side you have more than 1 terms. So monomial times 2 terms or 3 terms, this one we call common factoring. Then we continue to do this one. The greatest common factor is, this is number 1, this is 4, 1 and 4, it doesn't have any number other than 1 could go into them, so 1 we don't count it as common factors. Numbers, we don't have common factor, but for the variable x squared and x, the greatest common factor for variables is the lowest degree for that variable. So x squared, x, lowest degree by default, no numbers means 1, so lowest degree is 1. So greatest common factor is x. Then we are going to put x times each term divided by x. You will have x squared divided by x is x. 4x divided by x is 4. So if you don't want to do this way, you still could draw the box. This one 2 terms, then we draw 1 by 2 box. X squared, 4x. The greatest common factor, we put it as one side. Then we find the other side. So which times with x give you x squared? You could do the area divided by the length, give you width, give you the length. X squared divided by x give you x. 4x divided by x give you 4. Then it's x times x plus 4, so they are same. And if you are doubting the how to get this number, so this is a common factor x, we put it as front, okay? Then in order to find this x, we use x squared divided by x. Then we have learned we did the review for exponent rule. So if same base, the power divide, we subtract the degree. So 2 minus 1 give you 1. So that's the reason we have x here. And 4x divided by x, we just cancel x out. So I explain it again how to get the number 4. So 4x divided by x, and x cancel out, you have 4. So this is how this is do the 2 divisions. 1 division, 2 division. Now you have this 1, 2. Okay. Then for the factoring, we just write width times length, so x times x plus 4. Then it's done. So any questions? No, then we continue this one. So this one you have 3 terms. 3 terms is kind of like you have 1 by 3 box. You don't need to draw the box, but if you want to, then you could draw it. So 6y squared minus 9y and 15. We want to find the common factor. Greatest common factor 6, 9, 15. So we are look at the factor number sheet. 6. Okay, I will use this as well. 6 and 9. Okay. So 6, we circle this one, 6, 9, and 15. Now we are going to see what's a greatest common number. 1, 6, 2, 3, 1, 9, 3, 3, 1, 15, 3, 4. So the common will be 3. Then the greatest common factor will be the 3. So we go back. Then we know that the greatest common number is 3. Then we check, do we have variable common factor? Y squared, y, no y. If you have one term, no variables, then you don't have variable as a common factor. You must have all the terms with a variable, same letter, then you may have the common factor with that letter. Okay, so there's this one no y, then you don't have common factor y here. So we put 3 here. Then after that, we are going to find the side. So 6y squared divided by 3, you have 2y squared. 6 divided by 3 give you 2. 9, negative 9y divided by 3, negative 9 divided by 3 give you negative 3y. 15 divided by 3 give you 5. Then we are going to rewrite this one as length times width is 3 bracket 2y squared minus 3y plus 5. Then you could expand and check times 6y squared times negative 9y times 15. So it works. So you could use this box, or you could use the second method. So method 2, you don't need to know both of them. You pick one that you like, okay? Second method, you have greatest common factor there. Then you just do the division to each term. Then you simplify. You will find out 6 divided by 3 give you 2. Negative 9 divided by 3 give you negative 3. 15 divided by 3 give you 5. Then compare these two methods. You have the same answer. So pick one, either the box or the division method. And if you are quite familiar with this division, you don't need to show me this step. You just give me the final answer directly. It's okay. You just 3, okay, 6y squared divided by 3, 2y squared. Negative 9y divided by 3, negative 3y. 15 divided by 3 is 5. You have the final answer, then it's okay. So the next one, the next 3 questions, I want you to try D and E by yourself. Then I will pause this video and okay, so we are going to continue this one, 12 and 8. We are going to find the greatest common factor for this question. We find the number, greatest common factor for the numbers first. So go back to the factor sheet. Then we are going to erase this part. So it's 8 and 12. So 8 and 12. Then we look for these two columns. Which one is a common number? The greatest common number will be the 4. Okay, so 4 is a greatest common factor. So this is a number is 4. Then we are going to see the variable. These two terms have a in both of them. So a squared a. For variable, the greatest common factor is the lowest degree. So a squared a is the lowest degree, it's 1. And b squared, the b is a common factor, the lowest degree for each variable. You need to make sure it has that variable in each term, otherwise that variable is not common. Now we are going to 4ab, then bracket. I will do the division right away to save some time, save some space. So 12 divided by 4 give you 3. A squared divided by a give you a. B divided by b is 1, so no b left. And the negative 8 divided by 4 give you negative 2. A divided by a is 1. B squared divided by b is b. That is that. You could draw the box. It will give you this answer. Or you could show all the steps to the division. So I want to save some space. I just do it this way. Then the next one, greatest common factor, 2 and 4. Which number could go into 2 and 4? So 2, 1 times 2, 4, 1 times 4, 2 times 2. Greatest common number is 2. So also, we don't want to have the negative sign at front of the variable in the bracket. So we take the negative out too. So negative 2. Then for the variable, you have x squared, x. Both terms you have letter x. So x could be the common factor. Then we look for the lowest degree. X squared, x. This one by default is 1. So lowest will be x. To x for no 1, it's just x. Then we are going to put 2x bracket times each term divided by negative 2x. Negative 2x squared divided by negative 2x, you will have negative 2 is 1, x squared divided by x, 2 minus 1 give you x. Then negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. X divided by x is 1. Then it's done. Check your answer to see if you got this right. And next one, 3, 6, 21. The greatest common factor will be 3 is a prime number, so 1 times 3. Only 3 may be the greatest common factor. 6, 2 times 3, 21, 3 times 7. So you have 3 as common factor. Then we look at the variable. So for x, we look for the lowest degree. 5, 3, 4. So lowest degree is 3. Then for the y, is 4, 2, 3. So the degree lowest is squared. Is 2. So the greatest common factor is 3x cubed y squared. Then each term divided by this one. This time I may draw the box again to help you to understand what we are doing here. So this one, we copy the original expression here. So this is just separate each term. Negative 6 x squared, x cubed, y squared. Then the last term. So we'll have more space here. So it's y squared, then the last term, negative 21 x to the exponent 4 y squared cubed. Then we are going to see, we know the common factor, greatest common factor is 3x cubed y squared. Then in order to get this area, one side is 3x cubed y squared. Then this side, what we need to times with this to get this area. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, x. So in order to find this side, we put the common factor, greatest common factor at front of this 1 by 3 box. Then in order to find the have the area in each box, we need to find this side. Okay, one side is 3x cubed y squared. Then the other side we need to have, do the division. 3 divided by 3 is 1, x to the exponent 5 divided by x cubed. Division, subtract the degree. 5 minus 3, you have x 2. And y to the exponent 4 divided by y squared. Division, subtract. 4 minus 2 give you 2 y squared. So these two times together, length times width, will give you the area inside this box. So the first term, we know it, it's x squared, y squared. Then we are going to do the division for the second box. Negative 6 divided by 3, you have negative 2. X cubed divided by x cubed is 1. Y squared divided by y squared is 1. So negative 2 times 3x cubed y squared will give you this area in this box. So the second term is minus 2. And we are going to do the last term. The last term, negative 21 divided by 3 give you negative 7. X to the exponent 4 divided by x cubed. Degree minus 4 minus 3 give you 1. And the last one, y cubed divided by y squared. 3 minus 2 give you 1. So you only can apply the exponent rule to the same base. So that's the reason I do the x to the exponent 4 divided by x cubed only. So same variable, we do the division. Y cubed divided by y squared. Same letter, we do the division. Then we put minus 7 xy here. Then it's done. So this is for today's lesson. Then you are going to practice. Do the practice on third math 2.3, and you will have exit ticket 2.3 after you finish this homework. And tomorrow morning you will have a quiz 2.3 quiz tomorrow morning. And also I have put the practice test on third math already. You could start to do the practice test to prepare for Friday's Cycle 2 test. And for the Cycle 2 test, remember you need to keep all your answers with steps and scan them. Take a picture, answers with steps. Put them in the Dropbox. They are counting for the communication marks. If you don't hand it in, you will lose 15% the communication marks. Okay, so make sure you hand them in. And this part, answers with steps, is not marking by correct or wrong for the 15% marks. And also, if you hand in your answers with steps, if your final answer is wrong on third math, I will look through your answers and see if any partial marks you could get. So hand in, this is compulsory, answers with steps, put in the Dropbox. This is on D to L. This one is not on third math. So on D to L, and the test is on third math. So you have 2 places you need to go. Third math for your test. Okay, and answers, take pictures, put them into Dropbox on D to L. So that is all for today's lesson. Okay.